The first Battle of Britain couldn't have been tighter.
Silvestri nails it straight down the middle. Has it got the legs? It's good. The first field goal of 4 points in World League history.
The second meeting leveled the series.
First down to Graff and Reed, running room. It's a foot race, as Graff and Reed wins it.
Opening day 1996 was an overtime affair clinched by Don McCullum.
Scotland win in overtime.
The World Bowl-bound Claymores then got the first double over the Southerners.
Put that one in the book. Touchdown, Scotland.
Last season, Preston Jones came off the bench and on the first play made an immediate impact.
Looks for a man, and it's caught. Score.
Week 9 was a 10-9 squeak that got London the double, and this year Reggie Jones scored twice in Birmingham to give the Monarchs the series edge 4-3. Can Scotland level it today? Today we're back at Murrayfield for the 8th meeting between these two rivals. Exclusively live, it's the Scottish Claymores versus the England Monarchs.
And John Baker will get the action underway. Bobby Phillips and George Harris are the deep men for the England Monarchs. Phillips, who only joined the team a couple of days ago, and the Battle of Britain Mark II is underway. The kick will be fielded by Phillips, who takes it at the 9 and looks for running room and has got a return. Baker, the man to bring him down almost to midfield, and Bobby Phillips, who's only been with the team a few days, makes an immediate impact.
He's very quick. That's his forte. This is what they said about his few days of practice, is how quickly he moves his feet, how quickly he's able to hit holes when he sees them. He just comes straight ahead, and this is the mark of a good kick returner. Don't go side to side. Make a decision and then go for it. And when the kicker is the last guy, that is a great return.
40 yards to the England Monarchs 49-yard line. Victor Mohammed, the Londoner, in the backfield. Sean Turner, the motion man. Josh LaRocca has time, has a man. It's Reggie Jones, the danger man, and he'll pick up 5 yards. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 5. And we talked about Josh LaRocca, Trevor, and what a pounding this guy's taken. No questioning this man's heart and courage.
Opposing teams say that the key to England's offense is not Josh LaRocca, but rather the heart of Josh LaRocca. He's garnered tremendous respect around the league.
A pickup of 6 to the Claymores' 45-yard line. 2nd down and 4. Jones goes in motion out of the backfield, and they fake the handoff. And the end around for Jones, and he's got 1st down yardage and eventually gets pushed out by Eddie Cade. And that'll bring up a 1st down.
Now, Nick, this is exactly what Lionel Taylor told us yesterday they were going to do on the 2nd play of the game. They lined Reggie Jones up in the offensive backfield and put him in motion. Now, here he is right here. He went in motion out there. Josh LaRocca will fake to Mohammed and then toss the ball back to Jones. They've never shown this. They planned on this all week long to be the 2nd play of the game.
A good positive yardage again. The pitch back is to the Londoner, Victor Mohammed, who just plows his way to about the 26-yard line. Pushed out of bounds once again by Eddie Cade. The backs and receivers for the England Monarchs, they've all been a bit in and out. Tyrone Edwards in the backfield, Alan Allen, Reggie Jones and Sean Turner, the wideouts. Jared Fiebiger, the tight end. Edwards will share time with the Londoner who's in there now, Victor Mohammed.
Victor Mohammed, a guy that plays on all the special teams. He plays on the regular offense right now. He's a workhorse for him.
And he's in the backfield again on 2nd down. The handoff is to Mohammed, who spins away from tacklers but has got a lot of work to do just to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he's dropped for a 5-yard loss. Alan Campos came up from linebacker to make the stop. The offensive line featuring Dittman, Fekir, Bladorn, Augustino, and Robert Couch.
Well, Bladorn in this group has a huge charge today. Scotland's offensive or defensive front seven is very, very tough. These guys must protect their quarterback better than they did last week.
A 5-yard loss. Bringing up a 3rd and long for the England Monarchs. Rocker checking off to Mohammed in the backfield. Now drops back to pass, looks in the direction of Sean Turner, who gets it. It juggles. It's at the 2nd attempt, but it's a big play for the England Monarchs. And Turner worked Lee Cole, and it's 1st and goal.
This was a great call, and it was a great play by Turner and LaRocca. LaRocca checks off on this because he sees a possibility for Turner to get man-to-man coverage as he went to the corner. And that's exactly what happened. Now, when you can catch a ball like that as a big man, you catch the attention of the NFL scouts. And that's exactly what the Patriots were hoping this guy would improve on here in this league, being able to make that kind of catch.
1st and goal, a ball spotted just inside the 5. Victor Mohammed plowing through. Touchdown, England. The Londoner. Victor Mohammed's 1st touchdown in a couple of seasons. And that another impressive opening drive from the England Monarchs.
That was incredibly impressive. They did exactly everything they wanted to do. They only had one bad play, and that's when they tried to run right up the middle. Everything else that they tried worked exactly like they drew it up.
Well, Victor Mohammed from London with the touchdown. Rob Hart from Westbury in Wiltshire will attempt the extra point. The kick is on its way. Hart hasn't missed a kick all season, and that's another point for the man who played college football at Murray State in Kentucky. And the England Monarchs have a 7-point lead, 11:45 left, 1st quarter.
Right guard Chris Oldman, who's only been with the team a couple of weeks, opens the way for Mohammed. And they like Mohammed early in the game down here because he's fresh and he's powerful. They don't want him to get too many carries later in the game because by then he might have worn down a bit because of his special teams play. But as you see him power through there, that's exactly the role they want him to play early in the game.
Well, Lionel Taylor was telling us he wants a consistent offense, because too often we've seen the Monarchs come out red hot on that 1st drive and then just fade away. Again, nothing wrong with that 1st drive. The question now is whether they can sustain it for the rest of the game.
That is the big question, and Victor Mohammed will be a big part of that as we go continuing into the 1st quarter and into the early 2nd quarter. Victor Mohammed, a guy who fasts 1 month twice a year because of his religious beliefs. He doesn't eat anything or drink anything but water for 30 days at a time. And as a matter of fact, one of those 30-day periods came during league tryouts this last February. Halfway through a month-long fast, he was trying out for this league. That's just amazing what he can do as a physical specimen.
Vernon Turner to the left of your screen, and J.J. Smith are the return men. Don Silvestri kicks off. A kick that just squirts through between the two of them and into the end zone for a touchback. Well, Jim Ballard led the Scottish Claymores in week 4 against the England Monarchs. He was forced out with a shoulder separation. He comes back today to lead the team, and really there's some question marks against Jim Ballard at the moment.
Well, the key for him today will be to not try to take too much of the offense onto himself. He must try to take what the defense gives him. Don't try to force the ball, and then lead this offense. His leadership is very, very important.
Vernon Turner in the backfield, Scott Cooper and Chris Brantley are the wideouts. First down for the Scottish Claymores from their own 20. And Ballard with a quick pass aimed in the direction of Chris Miller. It's incomplete. Chris Miller, one of 3 starting wide receivers for the Scottish Claymores. Vernon Turner getting the start in the backfield, a guy who's only joined the team 8 days ago from the Frankfurt Galaxy. Miller from the Bears, Davis and Brantley, the wideouts. Willie Tate is the tight end. Scott Cooper at wide receiver will see extended playing time as well. 2nd down and 10 after the incompletion. They go on the ground. Vernon Turner looking to use his speed. Picks up maybe a yard before he's forced back. Dana Cottrell was in the mix. The offensive line, it's a big group offensively for the Scottish Claymores, and I know you love this group, Trevor.
They are. They're huge. They've got a lot of pro allocations here. Joe Andruzzi has a legitimate shot at starting for the NFC champions Green Bay Packers this coming year.
A gain of 1 yard to Vernon Turner, bringing up 3rd down and 9. Brantley and Cooper, the wideouts. Miller in the slot. Turner in the backfield. Ballard steps up, has a man wide open. It's Vernon Turner who beats Rick Newbill to get the 1st down, and still on his feet to the 42-yard line. A pickup of 21 yards and a 1st down. Anthony Rice eventually on the spot.
Nick, this is one of the matchups that is key to this game. Turner, very, very fast. He gives explosiveness out of the backfield. Here's Turner, here's Newbill. Now, Newbill has to cover an explosive back out of this backfield, and he's just not able to keep up. Ballard told us yesterday that that's a matchup they wanted to exploit. Newbill just doesn't have a chance in that much open field.
1st down, Scotland. Miller, the motion man. The pitch back is to Vernon Turner. Turner again using that speed to pick up good positive yardage. Eventually pushed back by Darren Studstill. The strength of the England Monarchs is their defensive front.
It's active, it's strong, and when you talk to the Scotland offensive coaches, they say that Emil Palmer and this group is what's holding England in the games that they've played this year.
Watch out too for Tom Tovo, the Englishman who has just come on in leaps and bounds in this, his 2nd season. A pickup of 6 for Turner. Brings up a 2nd down and 4 at the 48-yard line. Back they go on the ground again. Turner just squirts through, is tackled by Darren Studstill, but picks up another 6 yards and good positive yardage again. Another Claymore 1st down. Rick Newbill, the middle linebacker, flanked by Dana Cottrell and Randy Neal.
Well, Newbill's the guy with the onus on his back today. He's going to have to cover Vernon Turner coming out of the backfield on passes. That's a physical mismatch in favor of Scotland.
The ball at the 47-yard line of the England Monarchs. 1st down, Scotland. Looking to respond after that impressive England opening drive. Ballard with a lot of time, goes over the middle and finds, and it's incomplete. Nachi Abe, the big Japanese tight end, almost came up with the catch, but it was incomplete. Just back off injured reserve, Abe. He's had a calf problem, and he went home to Tokyo to get it seen to.
And it's a big deal for Nabi to be back. He's a big tight end. He's a good blocker. They also like his hands, though. He's a guy they love to throw the ball to. He's got it there, but he just gets drilled by Studstill.
So that brings up 2nd down and 10. Ballard again has a lot of time, looks in the direction of Miller. And it's a completion and another 1st down. And that was a gutsy catch from Chris Miller.
And his helmet went flying off after that catch. That's the kind of play that Chris Miller has struggled to make this year. That difficult catch. He's dropped a lot of balls that he should have caught in traffic this year. But as you can look here, he'll have double coverage with Rice there, and Studstill comes over the top. And he still hangs on to that ball, even though he couldn't hang on to his helmet. Look at the hit by Studstill. 27 right there. Knocks his helmet off, and yet Miller holds on to that football.
Meanwhile, we have an injured England defensive back receiving attention. It's Anthony Rice.
If Anthony Rice goes out of this game, Nick, it'll take England out of their preferred defense. What England wants to do is press one-on-one coverage with their cornerbacks and then blitz and fake blitz to throw off Ballard's timing. Rice is a guy who can cover pretty much any wide receiver on Scotland's team one-on-one. If he's not there, they've got to drop more people back into his zone. And it was his own guy, Darren Studstill, that laid the lick on him. Now think about that, Nick. Studstill hit the receiver, Miller, hard enough to knock his helmet off. But here he comes in and hits his own guy too, Miller, right there. Hard enough to knock him out of the game. What does that tell you about Studstill?
Yeah, that's quite a collision down there on that sideline. Hopefully Anthony Rice will be okay.
You know, he will. Nick, this is a guy who played running back in college. Last year with the Philadelphia Eagles, they knew he was such a good athlete, they could move him over to corner. And I've never seen that happen in my life, where a running back switched over to cornerback. That goes worlds to say how much the Eagles respect his athletic ability. And when you try to make an NFL team as one of the last corners, the last DBs, special teams is huge. That kind of athletic ability will give him a great leg up in camp this year.
The defensive secondary for the Monarchs, featuring Rice from the Eagles and Dwayne Butler from the Vikings, and Darren Studstill and Tony Watkins at safety.
Very important to see how quickly Anthony Rice comes back into this game. Behind Anthony Rice is Keita Crispina, who's also a good cornerback, but they'd rather have Rice on the press man coverage.
So a first down for the Scottish Claymores. Here is Keita Crispina, who's done a pretty good job in man coverage for the England Monarchs defensively. They tend to assign him to the other team's most dangerous receiver and just say cover him. But now he's going to be working the right corner. Ballard drops and throws off balance, and that one's just put up in the air and caught by Terrence Davis to the 1-yard line. What a catch from the former England Monarch. Dwayne Butler was burned on the coverage.
Nick, I just have to laugh at this. For all the designs of a coach, the breaking down of film, the practice, sometimes it's pure blind luck. That should have been intercepted by any one of 3 England Monarchs. Instead, first and goal at the 1. That's funny. He gets hit as he throws, and that ball just goes up in the air.
Meanwhile, flags come in as the Claymores go for the quarterback sneak on first and goal. Flags everywhere.
Boy, Ballard knows he dodged a bullet on that one. In the first drive from scrimmage, he did not want to go out and throw an interception.
You heard Jim Kreiner there saying quarterback sneak. The ball spotted now inside the 1-yard line. And it's first down as well for the Scottish Claymores. We're hearing that Anthony Rice is going to be back in action sooner rather than later, just winded. First down. J.J. Smith and Vernon Turner in the backfield. And Ballard on the keeper, and he's in. Touchdown, Scotland.
Nick, this is just a huge push in the middle by those NFL offensive linemen. Every single offensive lineman starting for the Scottish Claymores today is either on an NFL roster right now or has been on an NFL roster in the case of their right guard, Purvis Hunt.
Gary Parker, the Scottish rugby player, will attempt to tack on the extra point. He's 6 of 6 on the season. And you can make that 7 of 7. And we are tied up at 7 here at Murrayfield. An explosive offensive start from both teams. It's Scotland 7, England 7. Harris and Phillips, the return men. Phillips, who broke one for 40 yards last time, gets his hands on the ball this time and is not so impressive. Downed at the 23-yard line by Rob Flickinger, the only Englishman on the Scottish Claymores team. The defensive front for the Scottish Claymores has really improved in recent weeks as well, with Flickinger playing his role there just as he did on special teams. DeWitt and Hicks on the outside, the impressive Brad Keeney with Troy Bailey inside, and as I mentioned, the Englishman Rob Flickinger will see playing time in there as well.
Flickinger, the only Englishman on the Scotland team in this huge rivalry between these two teams.
Turner is the motion man out of the backfield. Tyrone Edwards is in the backfield, and that is incomplete from LaRocca, and it could have gone anywhere. The linebacking crew for the Scottish Claymores, there's been an enforced change here for Jim Criner's team. Kerry Mock stepping in at middle linebacker, the former Dallas Cowboy. He replaces the injured Emmett Waldron. Tim Scharf and Sam Manuel outside.
And Mock with a big job today. He's got to call the defensive plays just like Waldron did.
2nd and 10. On the ground they go to Tyrone Edwards, who had a big game last week. And Edwards cuts back and gets to the 30-yard line. 6-yard pickup, tackled by Eddie Cade, along with Cedric Samuel at safety, the two leading tacklers on this Claymores team. Corey Blackwell from the Giants and Kwame Ellis from the Chiefs on the corners.
And Blackwell and Ellis will have to cover a lot of one-on-one today. The Claymores want to outnumber the England Monarchs on the line of scrimmage to stop their run. Puts a lot of pressure on Kwame Ellis and Corey Blackwell.
3rd down and 3. 4 wide receivers out for the England Monarchs. And the pass is on its way to Alan Allen, and a flag comes in. He had one-on-one coverage with Corey Blackwell and a flag.
This is a situation where the ball was slightly underthrown. The receiver looked back for the ball. The defensive back, Corey Blackwell, did not. Had they both been looking back, it probably wouldn't have been a penalty.
Well, it's an automatic first down for England, a decision that hasn't gone down too well with these Claymores fans.
The key here is Alan Allen in white is looking back, and Corey Blackwell in blue is not. And that's why the flag is thrown.
3 wide receivers lined up wide right for England. LaRocca drops, has time, has Sean Turner again. Turner with his 2nd catch of the day, brought down by Cedric Samuel. But a pickup of 16 yards and a first down. And they're certainly getting Turner involved in the action more than in previous games that we've seen.
Turner's an important part of this offense, but they keep a running back and a tight end in here to protect. 7 guys to protect the quarterback after being sacked 8 times last week. That's why this play works.
To the Scotland 37-yard line. The give is to Tyrone Edwards, who is strung out and then down. John DeWitt in on the stop. Sam Manuel was there too. And maybe a couple if the officials are feeling generous.
That goes right to Lionel Taylor's offensive game plan today. They want to run the ball to the perimeter. They've done that fairly successfully, although they got stopped on that particular play.
So Tyrone Edwards, who had a long touchdown run 2 weeks ago against the Amsterdam Admirals, 56-yarder. And play action, and LaRocca goes downtown for Alan Allen. Touchdown, a flag comes in, but it's touchdown England. And if it stands, it's a 37-yarder.
Well, Scotland blitzed 7 people that time, but England kept 7 people in the block. In the last 2 weeks, sometimes they kept only the 5 offensive linemen in the block. And they've been outnumbered on the pass rush and on the blitz. That's a change in the game plan this week. This is pure one-on-one coverage. There's not another Claymore in that frame because they're all blitzing. And in one-on-one coverage, the defensive back is at a huge disadvantage.
Alan Allen with his second touchdown reception of the year. Josh LaRocca with his 9th touchdown pass. And England with a 13-7 lead, still in the first quarter. And Rob Hart will attempt to tack on the extra point. Yet to miss a kick all season. And the kick is good, and the England Monarchs have a 14-7 lead. And it's Alan Allen, the veteran, who's given them that lead. 14-7 England. We'll be back in a moment. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns. That's the story of the game so far. The latest coming on Josh LaRocca and his touchdown pass to Alan Allen. 5 plays, 77 yards. And Trevor, the Monarchs were talking about the need for offensive consistency. You can't do better than 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. Silvestri kicks it off. Good kick straight into the end zone and back out for another touchback. So Silvestri is 2 for 2 on touchbacks. The former New York Jet, who kicked a 52-yard field goal here back in 1995 to win the game for England against Scotland. This is a happy hunting ground for him.
He kicked another long one last week, but it was called back because of a penalty. Now, Jim Ballard has a tendency in these situations to try to do too much too soon. Here we are very early in the game. He's seeing the other quarterback drive his team down 2 in a row. He needs to resist the temptation of trying to go for too much right now and take what the defense gives him.
Terrence Davis is in the game at the bottom of your screen. Miller is the motion man. Vernon Turner gets the pitch back. And Turner's speed is definitely going to be a factor in this game. A pickup of 7 yards, and Vernon Turner came into this team talking about his speed and how useful he thought it was going to be.
Vernon Turner gives them that explosive speed out of that backfield that they didn't have. Kerry Bender, before his hip injury, has been very effective for them, but he doesn't have blazing speed. Vernon Turner, with 7 years in the NFL, has that speed, and that's why he played 7 years in the NFL.
The receivers switch sides. Davis is now wide left, Miller wide right. Turner remains in the backfield. Davis goes in motion, 2nd and 5. Ballard looks, again has time, has a man over the middle. It's the big Japanese tight end, Nachi Abe, who will pick up 7 yards before he's tackled by Tony Watkins, but it's another Scotland first down.
Joe Andruzzi is going against Emil Palmer right over here. Emil Palmer, 335 pounds, and look at him just throw punches in there. Emil Palmer came into this game absolutely stoked. I asked him what he had for Joe Andruzzi today. Emil Palmer said, I have 335 pounds of hell for Joe Andruzzi today.
Davis in motion, the pitch back to Turner, and Turner looks to turn the corner again. Stubb still can't get him, and Turner still on his feet. A pickup of 11 yards before Randy Neal eventually came up and stopped him, but he just left tacklers for dead.
That's a Barry Sanders looking move right there, where tacklers think they've got him lined up, but they don't. Vernon Turner played for 2 years with Barry Sanders in Detroit. Obviously, he couldn't get Barry out of the starting lineup, and it looks like he's about to throw down the field. That's a trick play there, but now look at this. That elusiveness, that speed, and that balance, like Barry Sanders, allows him to make something out of nothing.
Studstill and Newell both had a shot at him, both missed. 11 yards to the 44-yard line. Jim Ballard calls a timeout with 1 minute 43 remaining in what's been a very exciting first quarter, Trevor. This one's just flying by.
There's fireworks everywhere, and different kind of fireworks than I expected, especially from England. I thought England might spread the field.
Curl. We need they go Grizzly again. We probably need to go Leo, right?
Yeah. Well, just go away from the strong. Make the call away from the strong safety.
Well, as Jim Ballard goes back with the play, you were saying, Trevor, Emil Palmer very motivated for this game.
He saw a picture in the game program today of him lying on his back with Emmett Zatelli on him. You can see right here, he was getting taped all before this game with that picture sitting on his knee, steaming. No one of his teammates was anywhere near him before this game in the locker room.
And that is not a man you want to get angry. First down, Scotland. Ballard again getting plenty of protection and fires in the direction of Chris Miller, and it's a pickup of 12 yards and a first down. And Miller, who's been criticized for drops this season, has come up with a couple of big, tough catches today.
Miller makes a great catch here against a good quarterback, Anthony Rice. I think Chris Miller this year has batted down more balls than most defensive backs, Nick. Now, that's not a very nice thing to say, but it just seems like a lot of balls went right through his hands. Today, he's made some very, very difficult catches.
Well, he is the Monarchs' leading receiver, but those numbers could have been so much better if he'd hung on to everything. But two tough catches today for Miller. Back on the ground they go. Vernon Turner just blasting his way through for 7 more yards. Eventually stopped by Carlos Fowler. And Vernon Turner, you talk about how steaming Emil Palmer was. Vernon Turner was steaming when he left Frankfurt just over a week ago.
Well, he feels that he was misled by Dick Curl in Frankfurt as to his role. He wanted to be a featured part of that offense, was told he would be, and then was on the bench a lot. So he is not happy with the Frankfurt Galaxy.
But he's getting plenty of playing time here. The starting tailback. And he gets the ball again. He doesn't get much this time. Uhuru Hamita wrapped him up for a loss of 3. And that'll bring up 3rd and long for the Scottish Claymores. And that's about the first time a defensive play has been made in the game.
Well, Uhuru Hamita makes that kind of a play. That's his forte. He was unblocked that time. Came through, and there was nowhere for Turner to be able to go.
And that's the last act of a first quarter that has seen 3 possessions and 3 touchdowns. It's 14-7 to the England Monarchs, but the Scottish Claymores are looking to tie it up. We'll be back for the start of the second quarter after this. Fun bunch doing their stuff on the sideline, as they have through all 4 seasons here for the Scottish Claymores. I think you look good in one of these kilts, Trevor. I can see you.
Oh, I look great in one of those kilts. Remember what Hamish said in the movie, though, to Mel Gibson, right before the battle. Looks like we didn't get dressed up for nothing.
Meanwhile, the Scottish Claymores have a 3rd down and 8. Davis in motion. Ballard drops back to pass. Looks long, and it's overthrown. They were looking for Miller. Miller in single coverage with Anthony Rice, and that pass just overthrown.
And why not look for Miller? The way he's been playing so far, he had one-on-one coverage again. The Monarchs came with another 7-man blitz.
So David Wing, the Australian, comes in to punt. The first time we've seen a punter involved in the game today. Toderick Malone is the return man for the England Monarchs. Low snap. Wing does a good job to get rid of it, and a good high kick. Fair catch called for by Malone, and he fields at the 10. Good effort from David Wing. Well, this is week 7 in the NFL Europe League. 2 games played last night. A couple of upsets here. Rhein Fire losing their unbeaten record to Barcelona, and a lot of people tipped Amsterdam to cruise into the World Bowl. Frankfurt having other ideas with a 25-7 win in the Waldstadion.
A lot of people thought the Rhein Fire might go undefeated the way they've been playing the first part of this season, but they only tied, didn't break the record for most consecutive victories.
Which is held by the Monarchs, I might add.
Well, got to be sure to bring that up. Make sure that Scotland doesn't hear about it today, though.
I didn't bring it up, Trevor. I wasn't going to raise that.
I thought I would for you, Nick, just because I know your love for the team in red.
On first down, at their own 10, Turner is the motion man. The pitch back is to Victor Mohammed. And Victor Mohammed trying to use his speed and tiptoeing for 5 yards before he's pushed out of bounds by Cedric Samuel. Not quite Vernon Turner in the speed department, but this is not a man you want to tackle one-on-one.
No, he's a guy that you can get to as a defender, but he's not a guy you want to get to, because he'll hit you every bit as hard as you'll hit him. This is just student body left. They pull everybody out there. They wanted to attack the perimeter. This is their game plan. Reason being that the front 7 of Scotland is very hard to run on up the middle.
Second down and 5. England leading 14-7 early second quarter. LaRocca dropping back to pass. Reggie Jones is the receiver. A flag comes in the backfield late. And that's going to be just short of a first down. James Johnson on the stop, but we'll have to wait for that flag. Both teams talk, Trevor, of the need to protect the quarterback. And so far, both quarterbacks have been able to operate pretty much as they want.
Both teams have kept extra blockers in.
Offense, number 72, half distance to the goal. Repeat second down.
Goes against Robert Couch, the right tackle. So instead of third and less than a yard, it's 2nd and 13 for the England Monarchs.
Which means another difficult situation for the offensive line. The defense knows they can not think about the run too much. Without a speedy back in the backfield, they can come and rush that passer right now.
4 wide receivers out. Malone and Jones wide right. That's where LaRocca's looking, in the direction of Malone, and it could have gone anywhere. The nearest man to it was Eddie Cade, the Scotland safety. And that'll be 3rd and long.
This is another new wrinkle that they had. In practice this week, they would stack 2 wide receivers behind one another. They also have another variation of that where they put 3 guys in a row. In this case, they've got 2. Now you can see these 2 wide receivers. The defensive backs are looking around, talking to each other, trying to figure out exactly who they're going to cover. Now they end up with good coverage, but that play is designed to try to confuse it.
3rd and long. The pressure on the England defense. LaRocca again has time, can't find Sean Turner, who's drawn the coverage of Lee Cole. And 3 and out for LaRocca as the Scottish defense makes the necessary adjustments and Brian Greenfield comes in.
That was one of the keys from Jim Kreiner of the game today, that his defense adjusts to new wrinkles they haven't seen before from England. That double-stacked wide receiver formation has never been shown. So now Brian Greenfield has to come in and punt it away.
And he's been kicking the living daylights out of the ball all season long. Not one of Greenfield's better kicks. It's going to be taken at the 47 and fumbled, and Roel Blenman is there to recover for the England Monarchs. A mistake from Vernon Turner, and Blenman, the Londoner, is there to capitalize.
Vernon Turner has had this problem all season long. In the season opener, Frankfurt against England, he fumbled 3 kicks, put him on the ground. This is something he does not want to have happen. He doesn't square up on that football. You'll see he'll lean to his left as he tries to catch this. He needs to get his feet balanced and have that ball come down right between his numbers. That's a fundamental play. Roel Blenman right there to take advantage.
Another Londoner making a contribution for England. His 4th season with the Monarchs. This is first as a wide receiver. Has a catch this year. Had a sack last year coming up from cornerback. And he's always the first guy down there on punts.
And he's got the coolest hairdo. He's got this hat specially made to cover that little hairdo he's got. He's got a diamond stud on his nose, and on his right big tooth right there, he's got another diamond. Very unusual guy.
We'll be back in a moment. Murrayfield in Edinburgh. And so far, it's the Old Enemy, England, that are just about edging things, leading at 14-7, and then that big turnover on special teams, giving the Monarchs another shot at the ball at their own 49-yard line. LaRocca, play action, has time, has a wide open man, Alan Allen with the catch, a pickup of 16 yards. Kerry Mock there on the stop, but another England first down. And LaRocca is getting so much time today.
That time they kept Fiebiger, their tight end, in on the left side. They had 6 men in the block instead of just 5. That's what gave LaRocca the time to throw. 3 receivers out to the wide side, had man coverage. See, there's Fiebiger right there.
And it's a first down to the Scotland 35-yard line. 3 wide receivers lined up to the left. Victor Mohammed, the ball carrier. Mohammed's lost the ball. And Eddie Cade has recovered for the Scottish Claymores. Oh, this game's got a bit of everything, Trevor.
These guys have to be tired right now. They've done everything you can do in a football game already. It's just the second quarter. This is a matter of a running back trying to do too much. Muhammad is only holding that ball with one hand. He should have it covered up. Look at Victor Muhammad, 29. He's got the ball in his right arm. His left is out to the side. He's got to cover that up when he's in traffic.
So the momentum swings again. A Heart of Midlothian shirt there in the crowd. Heart celebrating winning the Scottish Cup yesterday, beating Rangers. And it's 1st and 10 for the Claymores. The pitch back is to Vernon Turner. Turner looking to use that speed, getting to the outside, getting pushed out of bounds eventually. Dwayne Buckler coming up from corner to make the stop and to pick up a 3 for Turner, who's still furious with himself about that fumble.
Turner used his speed that time to help Mike Rockwood. Big right tackle, Cole, 6'11", 340 pounds, blocking on the linebacker, Mark Fields. He didn't have that good of a block, but because of the speed of Turner, just hitting him and slowing him down a little, allowed him to get the corner.
Miller and Davis, the wide men. Miller to the bottom of your screen. Turner alone in the backfield. Davis now in motion, 2 tight ends. And Ballard swings it out to Vernon Turner. Turner tries to cut inside and will pick up maybe a couple of yards before he's tackled. Scott Fields coming up from linebacker. That'll bring up 3rd down and a long 5 for the Scottish Claymores.
The Monarchs have really keyed in on Vernon Turner. They know if they don't stop him, it doesn't matter who else they stop. And he drew a crowd. As soon as he caught that ball, everybody showed up.
Well, they certainly respect his speed. That's why Jim Kreiner brought him into this team. A 7-year NFL veteran. Ballard on 3rd down, looks in the direction of Chris Miller, gets him again. The ball to the England 49-yard line, and another huge play from Chris Miller over Darren Studstill, the safety.
Nick, football coaches are creatures of habit. If a play works once, go right back to it. This play, Miller, number 80 on the left of your screen, runs the same route that he ran to get that pass interference penalty in the 1st quarter. Same exact play, same exact defense. Again, the result, good for Chris Miller and the Scotland offense.
Miller's having a big game. That's his 3rd catch, and they've all been difficult ones. And it's a 1st down Scotland in England territory. And they go for Miller on the reverse. And Miller will pick up 3 yards, takes a huge hit. Just flattened by Randy Neal. Comes up without his helmet for the 2nd time today.
Well, Miller ought to take that yellow thing on his nose and use it to stick his helmet on a little bit better. Look right here at Mike Rockwood. The big right tackle is going to be leading out there. And actually, if Miller stays outside, he might still be running, because that's where 340 pounds of Mike Rockwood was leading the way for him.
A tough 3 yards for Chris Miller. And it's a 2nd and 7 at the England 46-yard line for the Scottish Claymores. And Jim Ballard playing with poise and confidence at the moment. Will he take the tight end as the motion man? They look in the direction of Chris Brantley, who's going to throw on the option, and they get J.J. Smith. They worked it to perfection. George Harris pushing Smith out of bounds, but another huge play for the Claymores.
Well, this is Jim Kreiner saying to Lionel Taylor, hey, you can run reverses, double reverses, so can I. Number 85, Willie Kane, is going to lead out there, provide the protection. So when the ball comes out, just in case it's man coverage, 85, Willie Kane right there. And he's scaring Kenta Crispina, so he won't come and rush. They throw the ball to J.J. Smith. Well, that's trickery from an offensive line coach. Don't see that happen very much.
I tell you, it's keeping defensive coordinators on their toes. It's keeping us on our toes up here. You just don't know what's coming next. Ballard with time, looks, flag comes in. They were looking for Miller, who'd drawn double coverage, but a flag comes in early. Darren Studstill was one of the defenders that was there. Anthony Wright's the other one. And it goes against the England Monarchs. Penalties have been frustrating Lionel Taylor all season. They draw more yellow flags than anyone else.
Illegal contact, defense number 26. It's a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's against Anthony Rice, right corner.
That was double coverage on Miller. It starts with great protection by the offensive line. They come with a 6-man blitz. That NFL offensive line, there's no Monarch in that frame. And then on double coverage, Rice loses his balance and gives a little push on Miller.
So the ball inside the England 20. Ballard gives to Vernon Turner, who runs into big Tom Tovo from Southampton in England, and a pickup of 3 yards. And Tom Tovo, I know he's from my hometown, Trevor, so maybe I'm biased, but this guy has just come on in leaps and bounds.
Tovo showed up here. They didn't expect him to do all that much, but then he ran a 4.640 in his first tryout. They thought, you know, a guy that size with that kind of speed, we have got to find a place. And he's one of the most improved players in this entire league.
Well, he had 2 tackles the whole of last season. Going into this game, he had 10 tackles and 7 special teams tackles. That leads the team, and now a real contributor. Second down and long. Ballard goes the other way, has a man, great catch. And Chris Miller is putting on a catching clinic this afternoon.
I don't know what got into Chris Miller. This is just what he's doing is un-Chris Miller-like based on earlier in the season. This is the Chris Miller that the Chicago Bears want to see. He has a legitimate chance to be a Chicago Bear this coming year, but they wanted him, and I talked to the Bears personnel people last week, they wanted him to be more consistent catching that football. So far, he's caught everything in traffic, thrown behind him.
First down and goal from the 5. On the ground, Vernon Turner goes in untouched. Vernon Turner, in his second game for the team, scores his first touchdown as a Claymore.
Take a look at Mike Rockwood, the right tackle, number 73, right there. He's going to come around and seal this thing off. That's almost 7 feet tall, 340 pounds. Nick, Vernon Turner made a great run, but you could have scored on that one.
Well, maybe.
No,
I'd still be running now if it was me.
it's only 5 yards, Nick.
You haven't seen me running 5 yards. Garrett
Kicks away, guys.
boots the extra point. We're tied up at 14 apiece. 7:18 to go. First half. What a game we've got. The Battle of Britain, the Pride Bowl, call it what you like. These two teams putting on quite a show. Been all guns blazing here at Murrayfield so far. England and Scotland tied up at 14 apiece.
The defensive line, they're not sure quite what to do. They've got a huge offensive line that's been laying on them all half. They're over there trying to get that worked out.
Harris and Phillips are lined up deep. It's a shallow kick that's taken by Jared Fiebiger, the tight end, and Fiebiger going the wrong way. Still stays on his feet, but he's drawn a big crowd of blue, and he goes down about 8 yards back from where he caught the ball. Shannon Jones eventually bringing him down, a man who's just joined the team this week.
Vic, that's an intentional special teams play. Instead of kicking it deep to the guys that are used to catching it, returning it, you puts it short to a guy that's not used to it. Now right there is Fiebiger. He's not used to doing this, so what does he do? He catches the ball and starts running the wrong way, the wrong way, the wrong way. And he ends up losing a lot of yards on that. That play is designed so that something like that might happen.
And it's a first down England at their own 23-yard line. LaRocca, who's had a lot of time today, has a man. And I've been dreading this moment. It's Obafemi Ayanbadejo. I think I spelt it, I think I pronounced it correctly, but we've got to see his name because it's one of those ones you just got to read it and hope for the best.
It's Ayanbadejo.
All right.
Ayanbadejo. He just came back last week to this team, and they need him. They'll play him at tight end mostly today, but also some in the backfield.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, What is that?
It's Iron Butter. His nickname is Femi, though. Femi, right there in the middle. His mother calls him that, and Lionel Taylor says, hey, if it's good enough for Mom, it's good enough for me.
Yeah, it's good enough for me, too. Tyrone Edwards, which is a name I can handle. Doesn't get a lot. Tim Schaaf coming up from linebacker and making the stop. And that's going to bring up third down and a couple for the Monarchs. But Josh LaRocca must be reasonably happy. I mean, usually at this stage of the game, he's just been pounded and his shirt and everything is filthy. But, I mean, he's getting protection today.
You know, it's funny, in talking to the Scotland defense yesterday and last week, they said that they expected Josh LaRocca to be begging the coaches for an extra blocker. They've given it to him this day.
Third and a couple. Back again to Tyrone Edwards. Edwards squirts through and picks up 7 yards and a first down before eventually running into Eddie Cade, the safety.
Nick, what made that play successful for England is that it was 3rd and short. Earlier in this season, they've had a lot of trouble on first down. They've had 2nd and long, 3rd and long. 3rd and short is a situation that they ought to be able to complete, and they did.
Reggie Jones, wide left. Roel Blenman, wide right. Turner in the slot. On first down for England. Again, Edwards with running room. Will pick up close to first down yardage before he's run out of bounds. Corey Blackwell was there to make sure Edwards went out of bounds.
Key to the game to attack the perimeter of this defense. This time there's Femi Ayambanijeo right there lined up at tight end. He's going to block for Tyrone Edwards. Femi is a big, strong guy with the Minnesota Vikings, and that is what allows Edwards to get to that corner.
9 yards for Edwards. 2nd and short once again for the England Monarchs. And as you say, Trevor, they've been 2nd and 3rd and long so often this season. With their first down yardage very effective so far today. Reggie Jones splits out to the left, flags come in. We may have delay of game against the England Monarchs here.
Nick, having Femi Ayambanijeo here has done wonders for this team. Their starting tight end, Sean Manuel, is out with injury.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 60, still 2nd down.
That's Greg Glader on the center getting the 6th. And another costly penalty for the England Monarchs.
And there's Femi. The ability to line him up at tight end along with Scott Fiebiger on the other side allows them to run that 2 tight end offense, gives the quarterback much more pass protection when you keep him in.
Swing pass to Sean Turner. And Turner will pick up 9 yards before he's stopped by Cedric Samuel coming up from safety. And another flag. Reggie Jones seemed to get a very quick start there for the England Monarchs. But it goes against the Scottish Claymores. And the ball has been spotted just 2 yards short of the first down. And Kirk Dornan will confirm that the penalty goes against Scotland.
On the field, defense, 5-yard penalty, replay 2nd down. For the timer, please put 4:15 on the clock.
So that's going to make it 2nd and 1.
Well, that's one of those exasperating penalties for a coach. That's not a penalty made in the heat of battle. It just means you didn't know whether or not you were supposed to be on the field.
Well, 2nd and short. And LaRocca has shown he's quite happy to go downtown when he can. And a lot of teams love to go deep on 2nd and short, thinking if it doesn't work, they can go short next time. Play action, and they're going long, and they've got a man wide open, Reggie Jones. Now it's a foot race. And Jones brought down inside the 10-yard line, inside the 10 by Corey Blackwell. And LaRocca looking frustrated. He thought he had a touchdown there. Meanwhile,
what a great check. Both these guys are going to run an out and up. Both of them against man coverage. LaRocca reads the blitz, he pump fakes, and boom. Both of them were open. LaRocca had his choice. He chose to go downtown. Oh, that's a man that's had too much stress in his life, relieving a little steam right there.
He knows if he'd put a little bit more on that, I think Jones could have just carried on running. He wouldn't have broken stride. He'd have been in. As it is, he's down at the 7. First and goal. They're looking for Jones again. And it's incomplete. Blackwell again, the man they're picking on. But Reggie Jones, who is slow getting up, and England fans will be hoping he's okay.
Reggie Jones is a triple jumper. He can get up in the air. But what's great about this is his reaction to that ball. He had to jump up and over Corey Blackwell to even have a chance at catching that. And that's one thing that track guys generally have trouble adjusting to when they play football, is coming back to a ball, dealing with people in traffic, the proximity to another guy as he competes for that same space. It looks like he just got the wind knocked out of him as he hit the ground. But to get to the NFL and to succeed there with the Chiefs, adjusting to the ball is one thing that he has improved at tremendously while he's been here in this league this year. His release off the line of scrimmage is another thing that he's improved at tremendously. And he's improved his strength, his physical upper body strength, so that he can push away cornerbacks at the line of scrimmage, so that when he does go up in traffic, he can fight for that football. The Kansas City Chiefs say that he has a great chance to be on that team this year. There's only one other offensive wide receiver that has anything near the speed of Reggie Jones on their roster right now. So they like the fact that he gives them a second team threat.
Second down. Again, time, and they look in the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, England, Sean Turner. Turner's first of the year.
Nick, you said time. Tyrone Edwards picked up a blitzer off the left side. Sean Turner lined up inside in the slot. Had to run all the way to the corner of the end zone to make that catch. Last week, when they tried that kind of thing, LaRocca got annihilated before he could throw the ball. This week, with extra protection, Turner has the time to get open. The result, a lot different from last week.
Rob Hart will attempt to make it a 21-14 ball game.
Okay, I got you.
And it's good. And with 2:36 left in this first half, the England Monarchs back on top for the third time. And Sean Turner, allocated here from the New England Patriots, gets on the scoreboard for the first time this season.
Turner, number 11, has time to make a nice move there because of the blitz pickup by Tyrone Edwards. Cedric Samuel does not have time to get all the way out there. On the left of your screen, number 24, Tyrone Edwards. That's why this play is successful. And Josh LaRocca is happy for two reasons. One is that, hey, it's a touchdown. The other is he's on his feet celebrating a pass reception or a pass attempt. He hasn't been on his feet much the last couple of weeks.
I can't, as you see Sean Turner there, I can't recognize Josh LaRocca. He's only got one little bit of mark on his uniform at the moment.
Look at this mark on Sean Turner's uniform. That's a badge of courage. When a receiver gets grass stain right there, that means he's going up for a ball coming down on his head.
Is that open? Nice.
Josh LaRocca, I mean, just look at that uniform. He's got that little badge of courage as well there on his left shoulder.
But it's not like before. This guy usually has more dirt on him than the offensive line has on him. Today, they've kept him protected. And he's smiling. Usually he's wincing about this time.
Yeah. Tom Silvestri kicks it off, a squib kick that is fielded by J.J. Smith at the 6-yard line. And Smith runs into a whole bunch of trouble, gets to about the 28-yard line, but it's England back on top, courtesy of Sean Turner. And another impressive scoring drive from the England Monarchs. 7 plays, 77 yards. 7, the lucky number there for the Monarchs.
And it makes a big difference when they keep those extra guys in. Having Ayumbadejeo play tight end, having Tyrone Edwards stay in for protection allows the receivers to get open. It allows the quarterback to wait for them to make their breaks. And that is a huge difference now.
Say that name again. Just say that.
Ayumbadejeo.
Well, you've just been working on that all week.
Obafemi Ayumbadejeo. That's my middle name, Ayumbadejeo. Trevor Ayumbadejeo Maddox. That's me. Oddly enough.
First down. Ballard looking to respond. almost picked off. Instead, it's a catch for the Scottish Claymores and a 13-yard pickup as well. Chris Miller, another good catch.
Big arm by Ballard gunning that ball in there.
And they're trying to get this play off before the 2-minute warning, but there it is.
Nick Ballard wasn't watching the clock on that one. They tried to get it off, and he was just talking to his folks.
2 minutes left, first half. The Claymores trailing 21-14. Reggie Jones and Lionel Taylor on the sideline. And the reason they're on the sideline is because the Scottish Claymores have got the ball, trying to respond to that scoring drive from the England Monarchs. First down, 2 minutes left. The blitz comes, and Ballard has to get rid of it. Chris Miller making yet another catch, and he'll pick up first down yardage. 12 more yards for Chris Miller. Kida Crispina on the stop. What a half this guy's had. 6 catches and close to 100 yards.
And his coach set him up perfectly there. They threw a screen pass in the face of a blitz, which is usually a big play for the offense.
First down, draw play. Vernon Turner tries to stay on his feet and does a great job to pick up 6 yards when it looked like he'd been stopped for short yardage. Randy Neal eventually bringing him down, and a timeout called by Scotland with 1:30 left. The ball on the England 40-yard line. Well, the suggestion there that this one's heading in the direction of Chris Miller, and that's no surprise. Miller has been the star turn for the Scottish Claymores this first half.
They're expecting a zone coverage on this play. That's why they want him to go to the corner.
We've got 2 receivers that really are getting a lot of respect in this game. Miller, obviously, for the Claymores, Reggie Jones for the England Monarchs. And they, both of them seem to have the beating one-on-one of any of the defensive backs that are out there. 2nd and 4. Turner is in the backfield, but Ballard is going to throw. Looks for Miller, and it's picked off by the England Monarchs. Anthony Rice. And that's a sickener for Jim Ballard.
This was supposed to have been a corner route. It ends up being an out. Ballard throws a corner a little bit deeper down the sideline. There's Miller. Now let's see if he gets held. For some reason, he doesn't get to the corner. Now he's held a little bit right there, but then he breaks it off square to the sideline when he should have broken it off more towards the corner, a little bit deeper. That's at least what Ballard was expecting him to do. That's why he threw it deep.
Now, what does Lionel Taylor do here, Trevor, with 1 minute left? Lionel, who has shown himself to be conservative in situations like this. Do you think he may just go downtown a couple of times?
I think Lionel Taylor takes a deep breath, counts to 3, and throws it deep.
First down from their own 23-yard line. 1:20 remaining.
Josh Araka is going to do that now anyway.
And the defensive backs are backing off, and they go on the draw play. Tyrone Edwards will pick up a couple of yards, but no more, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 8. Alan Campos in on the stop.
Nick, that's the kind of audible that Josh Araka usually goes to go deep. This man, Anthony Rice, has struggled a bit today, but that interception was huge for his team. Gives them the chance to go in leading at halftime.
And it's his first interception of the season as well. They haven't made too many picks, the England Monarchs. Just 3 going into this game all season. And that's been one of their problems. Reggie Jones is lined up wide right. Malone and Allen, or rather wide left. Malone and Allen are to the right, and they go on the ground again, and Edwards will pick up just a couple. Very, very conservative, Trevor.
Well, Nick, you made the call. Lionel Taylor in the past has been very conservative in this situation. He's doing it again now.
And there we are. He's saying, let it run out. Well, easy to stand up here and second guess a coach, but You think with 1:20 left, you might just look to go downtown once?
And with the fastest guy in the league, in Reggie Jones, you'd think you'd try to do that.
Nevertheless, it's been a good half for Lionel Taylor and the England Monarchs. It's been a good half of football all the way around. I think there's plenty more action to look forward to in the second half. The story here, 21-14, England over Scotland in the Battle of Britain. We're back in just a moment. With Trevor Maddich enjoying the Battle of Britain Mark II, and enjoyment has been the keynote for the first half of this game, certainly for all these fans. It was offense all the way. Vernon Turner with a big play for the Scottish Claymores, a man who's only been with the team for 8 days, and he goes in from 5 yards out. But you know something, Trevor? One good Turner deserves another for the England Monarchs, Sean Turner.
This play works because Tyrone Edwards picks up the blitz of George Harris on the left side. That leaves Turner open in the corner of the end zone.
Well, we've heard Jim Kreiner in the locker room at halftime in the past really lambasting his players. He didn't have the need to do that this time.
Now let's pick the pace up, okay? Let's pick the tempo up and get after their butt and stay after it, okay?
Everybody worry about their damn job and things gonna come.
That's right. That's right.
That's all we got.
We've got 2 more quarters now, man. Let's make this the best 2 quarters we've played all year now. Get in here. Let's get in here now. Bring the defense over. Bring the defense over real quick. Hey, damn right.
Mike Rockwood having a great game blocking, taking over leadership in the locker room as well.
So Don Silvestri will get the second half underway. Let's see if the motivation of Jim Kreiner and Mike Rockwood there does anything for the Claymores. J.J. Smith fields at the 1 yard line. And Smith gets to about the 28 yard line. Let's take a look at the numbers from the first half, and it couldn't be much closer than that, Trevor.
There's a lot of offense. I mean, 216 yards total offense on both sides. Look at the first downs. I mean, both offenses are moving the ball very, very well.
And only 10 seconds difference in terms of time of possession as well. Nothing between them in terms of the numbers. 7 points between them on the scoreboard.
And that's just a matter of having the time to go down and do it for the most part. Both of these teams have done this with very exciting, explosive players. Vernon Turner for Scotland, Reggie Jones and Sean Turner for England.
We have a flag down, by the way.
Illegal use of the hands on the return team, number 58, hands to the face, half the distance, first down.
That is Shannon Jones.
Jones got his hands up on George Harris on that play. Up and extended. A ref looks for a player falling down at a funny angle, and Harris kind of was lifted up and turned his shoulders around and fell down at an odd angle, and refs will usually take that as an indication for that kind of an infraction.
And that's a swing of 20 yards as well for the Scottish Claymores, who had the ball at their own 28. Instead, they're now backed up at their own 8 yard line, and Jim Ballard has to exercise the ghost of that late interception. Apart from that, had a pretty solid first half, but that late pick. Let's see how he responds. On the ground, no, play action. Ballard looks, has a man wide open, and he can't hang on. Chris Miller, that is the kind of ball that Chris Miller has dropped this season. It looked a catchable ball.
And it was a catchable ball. And that takes a bit of the sheen off of his first half. Miller's a guy that knows that he needs to improve on this exactly. He catches 150 balls extra before practice and 150 balls after practice, number 80 at the top of your screen. That's 300 balls a day that some poor quarterback has to throw him in practice. But it's paid off in the first half.
But not in the second. The swing pass is to Miller. And Miller finds himself with nowhere to go. That's catch number 7 for Chris Miller. Big Ben Williams, who's been pretty quiet so far in this game, making the tackle and a pick up a 3.
That's a long ways for Ben Williams to have to run. He lines up an interior defensive tackle. He ends up making a tackle on a wide receiver who caught a pass.
Miller closing in on 100 yards today, but if he'd made that earlier catch, he would be at 100 yards now.
They'll keep going back to this guy.
Well, he made 3 terrific catches in the first half.
And if you can make 3, you can make 5. and then you can make 8.
An important third down this for the Scottish Claymores. Ballard has a lot of time, has Chris Miller. First down, Scottish Claymores. In fact, it's Scott Cooper with his first catch of the game. And a penalty comes in. And the suggestion is a late hit from Ben Williams.
Roughing the passer, defense number 76, 15-yard
It's Emil
penalty,
Palmer.
automatic first down.
This is a great play by a smart player, Scott Cooper. There he's number 81 in blue at the bottom of your screen, and he knows that he's not going to win with outright speed and physical ability. He's going to win by outsmarting the defense, which he did there. Now remember, Emil Palmer, furious before this game because of that picture of him on his back in the game program. That there is too much adrenaline, and look at the head of Jim Ballard snap around.
That thing was really late. First down, Scotland at their own 41. Willie Tate can't quite bring it in. The pressure was coming on Ballard, and it's incomplete. Willie Tate is one of those guys you sense, Trevor, they'd like to get him involved in the offense more.
They do. They say that every week, and for some reason the ball doesn't seem to get his way very much. It hurt them to not have him in the game when he was injured early in the season with an injured back, but mostly because of the blocking that he's been able to do.
So 2nd and 10. Cooper and Brantley are the wideouts. And Ballard feels some pressure. Uhuru Hamilton's got him. And the ball still in the hands of Jim Ballard, but a loss of 13 yards on the play. Uhuru Hamilton coming up with his 4th sack of the season.
This is a fluid move by a big man. Uhuru Hamilton, defensive lineman. He comes at the full run on this. He'll come from the top of your screen, number 90. And then he ducks inside the blocker. Right there. And then he has the ability to change direction, move back outside, and catch Jim Ballard.
The big man from Delaware State. Was in camp with the Philadelphia Eagles last year. Now 3rd and long. And Ballard feels the heat from Hamida again. Another sack, 2 in a row.
Uhuru Hamilton comes around one-on-one pass protection, and only 3 England Monarchs rushed the passer that time. Look at this. Here's Uhuru Hamilton, one of only 3 guys coming, working on Barry Stokes. Well, you've got 5 guys to block 3. And it's a sack. That's embarrassing.
So David Wing comes onto the field. Todrick Malone, the return man. Good kick from Wing, forces Malone back to the 22-yard line. And Malone is stopped and pushed out of bounds. Corey Blackwell doing a great job on special teams. So a good special teams effort from the Claymores, but it's England who will have their hands on the ball when we return. Well, Lionel Taylor is a man of his word. He said that no matter what happens in this game, Josh LaRocca would not play the whole game. Instead, Wally Richardson would get in. LaRocca has had a very competent first half, but ahead of time, they promised Wally Richardson some time, and the man from the Baltimore Ravens now gets a chance to show what he can do. That's a brave move, Trevor.
And it's fair. Wally Richardson has been here, came into the season as the starting quarterback, and now he's getting a chance finally to show what he can do.
With Victor Mohammed in the backfield. Hasn't played since week 1. The give is to Mohammed, who gets nothing. Walloped by Tim Scharf and Troy Bailey. So Wally Richardson had such a shaky start to his NFL Europe career. That first half against Frankfurt in week 1, he wasn't convincing, and Lionel Taylor didn't waste much time in bringing out the big hook.
It was a matter of making decisions. Wally Richardson knows that the reason he was pulled is because he didn't make good decisions. Down and distance, whether he throw beyond the first down marker, balls that he threw into coverage that he shouldn't have thrown that ended up picked off.
2nd and 10. And Richardson with the swing pass to Sean Turner, and Turner is down after 3 yards. So Richardson, we talked about him in week 1, really a far from convincing debut in the NFL Europe League. This was the England Monarchs' very first possession, and Richardson feels the heat, puts it upstairs, but Frankfurt's Greg Evans is the only man that's there. And when he tried to keep the ball on the ground as well, he met Hilary Butler and managed to recover his own fumble. But Lionel Taylor at halftime said to Josh LaRocca, "You're going in." And he's been there ever since, until now. Richardson on 3rd down, gets Turner again. Turner can't hang on, it's incomplete. Alan Campos was thinking glory there for a moment. And that's tough for Richardson, because that was a catchable ball.
For Richardson, that was a successful first series back. He made good decisions, he made them quickly. Lionel Taylor had been working with him in practice all week this week, focusing on make a decision and go with it. And if it doesn't seem like it's there, just throw the ball away.
I think Lionel was too impressed with Richardson.
He wasn't happy with that decision right there. But the point is that he made a decision fast. He didn't sit back in the pocket and wait.
Timeout called by the England Monarchs.
That was a matter of the 25-second clock getting down to almost 0 when the punter saw it. Call timeout. And more confusion, they only had 10 men on the field. Here comes Stenstead.
England team timeout number 1. This is a 30-second timeout.
Well, Lionel Taylor watching from the sideline. And he'll have a busy week ahead of him. If he wants to keep up with what's going on with the other teams in the NFL Europe League, he can do better than logging in on NFLEurope.com, which is Trevor's kind of second home.
I found another resident expert on this, and that is Sean Turner of the England Monarchs. His nickname on the team is Bill Gates. He's got a computer company back home in the United States, and all the players bring their computers to his hotel room to help them get configured and set up on AOL whenever they go on the road.
I keep asking you to do that for me, Trevor. And
you need a computer, Nick, not a pencil.
It's always next week with you, Trevor. Ryan Greenfield gets off the kick. J.J. Smith comes up and fields at the 42. And still on his feet. And a spinning effort gets him close to midfield. Vernon Turner it was who fumbled the last punt, so they bring J.J. Smith in, and a pretty useful return from Smith.
Smith is a guy that doesn't have the explosive speed as Vernon Turner, but he still has a pretty good burst. But it doesn't matter how fast you are if you put the ball on the ground. J.J. Smith last week added a tremendous burst when he came in to the game in replacement of Dino Filiot. Filiot didn't have that acceleration in the hole. When Smith came in, the whole offense looked totally different.
And it gives the Scottish Claymores excellent field position. They're on their own 49-yard line. First down. Vernon Turner, the ball carrier. Turner plows his way for about 3 yards. A man who's really looking forward to when Scotland go down to Frankfurt, or rather when Scotland entertain Frankfurt here next week. He's got a point to prove there.
He has got a real visceral, vehement feeling right now of negativity toward the Frankfurt Galaxy and their coaching staff. And I asked him if he'd be thinking about that today, revenge. He said, no, today I'm thinking about the England Monarchs. But I guarantee you, when we play Frankfurt, revenge will be on my mind the whole game.
Second down and 7. They go back again to Vernon Turner. Turner uses his speed to good effect. Dwayne Butler was there to push him out of bounds.
And that's the exact way he wants to get revenge when he plays next week, and also in showing Dick Curl on film what he did here. Dick Curl didn't include him in the offense in Frankfurt. And to this day, Vernon Turner isn't quite sure why, but that's why he asked for his release. And he asked for his release week after week after week after sitting on the bench. Now he wants to show Dick Curl he should have put him in from day one. That's what I mean by revenge.
8 yards and a first down from Turner, who stays in the backfield and gets the carry once again. And works his blockers and just explodes and loses his own footing, actually. Nobody tackled him, he just lost his own footing on the cutback, and Darren Studstill made the stop, but it's going to be right there on the 30-yard line, which is what he needs to get to for the first down. In fact,
there's no movement here by the offensive line on the left side. Take a look in here. You'll find offensive lineman getting pushed back. But Nachiabi, number 88, the tight end, is able to sustain his block long enough that Turner is able to squirt right through there. It's the speed of Turner getting to the hole that allows him to squirt through it before it gets closed.
Second and a couple of inches. Ballard gives it to Turner again, and Turner's got running room and is nicely ankle tackled by Darren Stutstill. Otherwise he could still be running.
Nick, it's not that hard to open a hole for the offensive line. What's hard is to keep it open, to sustain. Now when you've got a running back like Vernon Turner that's so quick getting into that hole, as soon as it's open, boom, he gets through it. Here's Turner, he goes right there, and look how fast he gets there. That hole opens, and boom, he's in it as soon as it opens.
The ball on the England 24-yard line. The Scottish Claymores looking to tie this one up. Ballard drops, swings it out to Turner. And Turner tries to run straight through Randy Neal and Dwayne Butler. And he'll pick up 4 yards, bring up second down and 6.
Well, you talk about a workhorse for this offense. Jim Kreiner knows he has a gem with this guy.
Another man getting an opportunity because of injuries elsewhere. They've had so many running backs injured this season, the Scottish Claymores. Eric Lynch went home. Kerry Bender has a hip problem. Dino Filior had a rib problem. J.J. Smith and Vernon Turner have come in. Really, both of them have been given second opportunities and they've grabbed them. Ballard on second down will throw, and it's incomplete. Looking for Terrence Davis. Flags everywhere. Dwayne Butler will be the guilty party.
Dwayne Butler's filling in for the injured Hudayfa Ismaili. Ismaili with a
defensive pass interference, number 20. That's an automatic first down.
There's Butler right there. And so he's in a difficult situation here. It's a matchup that Ballard wants to go to. The second team cornerback in man-to-man coverage.
And Terrence Davis, one of 5 former Monarchs on this Scottish Claymores roster. He was England's leading receiver last year. First and goal from the 5. Blitz comes, they give to Vernon Turner, who's got a lot of room in front of him. Touchdown, Scotland! Vernon Turner's second of the game.
This is speed, and then it's determination. You can coach this part, but right here, that part you cannot. That's just wanting to make a statement, wanting to show that he can carry an offense.
Gary Parker will attempt to tie things up with 6:26 remaining in the third quarter. And the kick is on its way, and it's good, and we're tied up at 21 apiece, and Jim Ballard orchestrates a 51-yard scoring drive capped by Vernon Turner's 5-yard run. We're tied up here at Murrayfield. All square at 21 apiece here at Murrayfield. Scotland 21, England 21. Nick Halling with Trevor Maddich, and it seems that one team seems to get a lead, and that's been England, but every time the Scottish Claymores have come back at them. John Baker kicks it off. Bobby Phillips and George Harris, the deep men. And it's Harris who fields at the 8. And Harris showing some speed. Gets past the 25 to the 28-yard line. And that's where the England Monarchs will take over from. And as Jim Kreiner conducts his clinic on the sideline, let's see if we can listen in. Bobby Phillips in the backfield for the England Monarchs, and Phillips getting his first carry as a Monarch, and it's not a very productive one. He won't get back to the line of scrimmage. There was nowhere for the former Pittsburgh Steeler, to go. Bobby Phillips, another running back to be rejected by the Frankfurt Galaxy, just like Vernon Turner.
And he roomed with Vernon Turner all year last year with Frankfurt. Got released in camp this year and had not worked out, didn't run, didn't lift a weight until he got back off the plane to come back and play for England this year.
Well, closing on 1,000 career yards in this league, but you can take one off for that because that was a loss of a yard. 2nd and long. Richardson pitches it back to Phillips again, and Phillips had nowhere to go. Sam Manuel was wrapped up all over him, and that's going to be 3rd and long.
Well, they're trying to get some speed into the game with Phillips in there. Phillips is a guy that, again, has very good quickness. So much quickness, in fact, that they've got to line him up a half a yard deeper than their other running backs that England has, just so he doesn't get to the exchange point with the quarterback before the quarterback does. And so they're trying to get him free on that perimeter.
3rd and 10 for the England Monarchs. They were 3 and out on their last possession, and Wally Richardson would just love to get a first down here just to calm his own personal nerves. And a timeout called. This offense has struggled since Richardson came in, and that's nothing to do with Richardson, by the way. And let's see what he and Lionel Taylor have to say to each other.
So the Monarchs go in the second timeout with 5 minutes left in the first.
.51 out and up, Nick. The receiver's going to run a short out, he's going to pump fake, and then he's going to go right up the sideline. Which receiver? That depends on which he calls in the huddle here.
Third and long. 21 apiece in the Battle of Britain Mark II, or the Pride Bowl, as Lionel Taylor's been calling it all week.
And you cannot overestimate the emotion of the history of these countries and what it's meant all week in preparation building up to this.
4 wide receivers out. Richardson drops and is hit in the back. Alan Campos came up and blew that play away. And poor old Wally Richardson must wonder what he's done to deserve this.
Kwame Ellis is responsible for this sack, Nick, because it's one-on-one coverage all the way on what's supposed to be a 3-step drop. They're supposed to be a pump and then gone, but Kwame is so close with such great coverage that Wally Richardson holds that ball on a 3-step drop. The offensive line is expecting it to be gone now. It's supposed to be gone.
So Brian Greenfield back on. Low snap, handled well by Greenfield, and a wobbly kick to J.J. Smith, who fields at the 38. And down at the 42, Chieda Crespina with the stop. But once again, excellent field position for the Scottish Claymores, and the momentum of this game has shifted. It's been a weekend of celebrations in the city of Edinburgh. Yesterday, Heart of Midlothian winning the Scottish Cup, and most of these fans hoping that the Scottish Claymores can make it a win double by beating the Old Enemy England. That's not you in there, Trevor, was it? It looked a bit like you, Trevor. That wasn't you trying to sort of climb over that thing there, was it?
That looks like me when I was about 2 years old. I was about that size.
Joe Andrewsy here has a hamstring problem and is questionable for the rest of the game. Terrence Wisdom checks in at left guard. Another former England Monarch. First down, play action. Ballard buys time, looks, finds Nachi Abe. Abe brought down by Scott Fields. At a pickup of 7 yards. And the big Japanese tight end with his second catch of the day.
Got good hands, Nachi Abe. Very important guy to get in there, and he's another guy that's been injured. There have been so many injuries on this Scotland team. At one point, every one of their tight ends has been out to injury, and Abe's just coming back now. As a matter of fact, Jim Kleiner says it's like Christmas. He's had so many guys come off of the injured list this week.
Joe Andrewsy has checked back into the lineup. 2nd down and 3. Back on the ground to Vernon Turner, who's having a very productive day. And a pickup of 6 more yards. Dwayne Butler in on the stop, but another Scotland first down.
Mike Rockwood once again, Nick. 6'11", 340, right tackle, pulled out. Now watch what he does right there on the right of your screen. 73. He'll stare down 2 guys there. Don't hit them. So then he goes and hits. Boom! Number 26, Anthony Rice, just out of your screen, and knocks him down. He stared down 2 defenders and then knock down a third defender.
Well, he's had a couple of touchdowns, had some catches.
Can't coach that.
Must be over 100 yards all purpose. Ballard with time, broken up. Anthony Rice all over Chris Brantley, no chance for the completion. Good defense from the Monarchs, and that'll make it 2nd and 10.
This is one thing Anthony Rice said that he was working on as a former running back, knowing his position on the field. That ball was thrown right at the first down marker, and Anthony Rice was all over it. He's working on improving, knowing what the down and distance is, where receivers are trying to get, and anticipate that on the field.
Brantley and Miller, the wideouts. Brantley to the top of the screen. Draw play, Vernon Turner just using some of those elusive moves of his to pick up around 4 yards. Tony Watkins coming up from safety and applying the stop. But Vernon Turner can be happy with his afternoon's work. A couple of touchdowns and just helping to keep this offense moving along at crucial times.
Well, right now, that's what they need to do. The game is settled in. It's not crazy like it used to be. And Turner knows that, hey, if he gets 3 yards on a play, 2 yards, that's okay for now. Just keep things moving.
3rd down and 7. The blitz comes. Ballard slips over, and officially that'll go down as a tackle and a sack. Emil Palmer, but Ballard just lost his footing, and that's disappointment for the Claymores.
That's big Emil Palmer, the guy who was so upset about that picture in the program. Working over left guard, Terrence Wisdom was in for Joe Andruzzi. Ballard's actually lucky he fell down there, because had he not fallen down, he would have been taken down.
They were coming with everybody. David Wing will kick it away. Todrick Malone lies in wait. High kick, fair catch called for. Malone fields at his own 20-yard line. So a 3rd opportunity for Wally Richardson offensively. Really, the guy has not had an opportunity yet to show what he can do on those first 2 drives, but there was no spark there.
No, the play calling was very conservative. They ran the ball, they had short passes, and on the one time they tried to pump and go, he held onto the ball too long. Again, that's what Lionel Taylor wants from this man right now. When you make a decision, execute it fast. If it's the wrong decision, we'll talk about it later, but make it and go. That's what he did not do when he started the season and was pulled at halftime.
Meanwhile, Josh LaRocca just has to watch from the sideline, having done no wrong. In fact, LaRocca had a very good game. But Richardson, how he would just love to make a play. The blitz comes, it's underthrown. They were looking for Alan Allen. Richardson just had to get rid of it. That'll be 2nd down and 10.
He throws this ball low into the ground, which is where he has to throw it. Otherwise, it's susceptible to interception. It's just a little bit too low, but you can see right there, Blackwell could have picked that off if it had been much higher.
2nd down and 10. Allen and Turner are lined up to the left. Ian Badajeo in motion. They go to the left, and there's a miscommunication. Richardson just throwing it in the direction of Allen and Turner, both of whom were heading downfield.
That was supposed to have been another double pump and out. They had a long play to Reggie Jones on this. Both guys are going to do this. Wally Richardson, though, throws like it's an out. That's not on the same page. And this man, we'll see how much patience he's got, because they're in a ball game right now, and his starting quarterback, Josh LaRocca, scored 21 points in the first half for him.
And since then, they haven't had a first down. Richardson on 3rd. Goes downstairs to downtown to Reggie Jones, and Jones can't hang on to it. And the pressure came as well on Richardson from Kerry Hicks. And it's 3 and out again for England.
Well, this is tough for LaRocca. Now, Reggie Jones, or for Wally, Reggie's open. That ball needs to be delivered there. There's Scottish Claymores defenders draped all over Wally. But he's got the time to deliver that ball, and that when he pulled it back down, that's the kind of indecision and tentativeness that he has got to get rid of.
Brian Greenfield out again. J.J. Smith. Flags come in. Smith is the returner. Good kick. from Greenfield. No chance for J.J. Smith. Special teams hustle from Kid Crespina. And that was all down to the hang time from Brian Greenfield, but there's flags everywhere.
That's a lot of courage by J.J. Smith right there. Of course, courage is not what you really need to be a punt returner, Nick. You need to be crazy.
All the best ones are.
You need to be nuts.
Because if you think about what it is you're being asked to do, you wouldn't do it.
You got guys running down the field at full speed as fast as they can go, and their only thought.
The penalty goes against England.
Only thought is to totally annihilate you, just you.
Another yellow flag day for the Monarchs, the most flagged team in the league. Let's see what this one
Illegal
is.
motion, offense number 22, 5-yard penalty, repeat 4th down.
George Harris being assessed. That'll drive a head coach crazy. Wally Richardson's numbers, incidentally, 1 completion from 5 attempts for 3 yards. So Greenfield will have to do it again. Greenfield gets off another good kick that Smith can't handle. And it's down at the 40-yard line. Well, they're at home this week at Murrayfield, the Scottish Claymores. Next week they move homes and they play a game at Hampden Park in Glasgow, which is quite an impressive stadium, I can tell you. And they're entertaining the Frankfurt Galaxy. And of course, the truth is, Trevor, it's still a reach, but a win here for Scotland, and they still have a shot at maybe making the World Bowl, in which case that game will become very important for them as well.
Mathematically, they do. Everybody thought that the Claymores, and England to some extent, but especially the Claymores, would be one of the top teams in contention for the World Bowl. But because of the injuries, especially at running back and tight end for this team, they have fallen back in the record, but they still have the horses to be very, very dangerous.
It may not be Scotland-Frankfurt next week. It may be Vernon Turner against Frankfurt. He is so fired up for that game. They show blitz, and they're coming. And Ballard is hit, and the ball batted down by Uhuru Hamilton. Carlos Fowler got in one side, Hamilton got the ball the other, and it's incomplete.
Vernon Turner made a nice blitz pickup inside, but they just brought too many. There were more Monarchs than they can block on that one. Vernon Turner, number 20, will come inside right there. It hit Randy Neal right in the chest, but there's just too many Monarchs in there.
So that will bring up a 2nd down and 10. This may be the last play of this 3rd quarter. Offensively, it's been owned by the Scottish Claymores. On the ground they go again. Vernon Turner finds a hole, works a seam, picks up 7 yards, and that'll do it for this 3rd quarter. A pickup of 7. Larry Townsend on the stop, but it's the Scottish Claymores that are building up a head of steam. Welcome back to Murrayfield. 21 apiece here, Scotland and England in the battle with the Old Enemy. Who's going to come out on top of this unofficial Battle of Britain? Vernon Turner finds himself in the thick of the action on 3rd down and 3. Turner wearing the colours of the Scottish Claymores now. Blitz comes. Turner is the ball carrier, and a flag comes in. There's a chop block there against the Scottish Claymores. Flags all over the field.
The England Monarchs expected that to be a run right up the middle. They blitzed 2 linebackers inside on either side of the center and a nose guard on top of the center. When they ran to the perimeter, that threw everything off. Now Uhuru Hamilton, number 90, makes a great play on this. Again, he's working against Barry Stokes of the Miami Dolphins and beats him. And that was the stem of this penalty.
And it is assessed as a hold against the Scottish Claymores. If it was Barry Stokes, the number you will hear is 66.
And if it's Barry Stokes, I'm playing the lotto tomorrow.
Holding, offense number 66, 10-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
Uhuru Hamilton beats Barry Stokes on this play. Right over here. And when he does, as Hamilton starts to close to make the tackle. Number 90. He gets tackled by Stokes right there.
And that brings up a 3rd down and 13. Barry Stokes has had his hands full with the Uhuru Hamilton. Not the first tackle to have his hands full with the Uhuru Hamilton, I might add.
No, and he's had trouble this year against some players.
Mike Kroll with the Ryan Fire springs to mind. 3rd down. 4 wide receiver package in for the Scottish Claymores. Ballard gets the pressure again. Ben Williams and Uhuru Hamilton. And I think it was Hamilton that got him, and that's the 3rd sack of this half for the man from Delaware State.
When you look at how Hamilton did that, Nick, he got his hand up into the throat of Barry Stokes. Look at number 90 right there. Look at his hand get up into Barry Stokes' throat right there and drive him back.
Well, the defense doing a great job for the England Monarchs. David Wing will kick it to Toderick Malone. Malone fields, takes a fair catch at the 30-yard line. Now, frustration for Jim Ballard on that last series, but his opposite number, Wally Richardson, had a very tough return to NFL Europe action. 3 offensive possessions in that 3rd quarter and no first downs, and they didn't even look like getting on Trevor.
And that was a totally different personality to this offense compared to the first half. In the first half, there was confidence, it was wide open, they changed quarterbacks, and that's, Nick, you see the difference in personality of an entire offense responding to the quarterback. They just made a change back to the spark plug in the first half.
So Richardson's out, LaRocca is back, and Chris Altmans is in the offensive line. Now, what spark can LaRocca provide? There it is immediately, Alan Allen with running room. It's a foot race against Sam Manuel. Eddie Cade comes over and makes the stop. 41 yards, and Josh LaRocca really is the man that is driving this Monarchs offense.
LaRocca with so much courage, so much patience. He gets pressured, and so he takes off running. But he doesn't throw that ball until he knows he's got a guy open. He sees the defensive back slip and fall down. Makes something out of nothing. Kreiner's trying to talk to his offensive lineman, but he hears the crowd, so he turns around to see what's happening.
And he knows it's bad. And it's a first down England. Tyrone Edwards runs into trouble. He'll lose 2. Gang tackled. Mark Lee was in there. So too was John DeWitt, and Wally Richardson just can't fire a break. Those are not the numbers you want to take back to the Baltimore Ravens.
No, and it wasn't really a fair assessment for Wally.
No,
I think the play calling got more conservative. When he was asked to make a play, though, he didn't make the decision to make the play work. Sometimes physically it doesn't work out, but mentally you need to do the right thing. And I think Wally, having not been in the game, it's difficult for him to go in and just perform like he had been all year long.
Well, look at those numbers for Josh LaRocca in contrast. There is a flag down on the field, by the way, hence the delay. But LaRocca over 200 yards today.
Illegal formation on the offense, 6 men on the line of scrimmage, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
It's another one of those penalties that a head coach goes crazy about.
And so does the quarterback now. He's got 1st and 15. That means there's more susceptibility to pass rush pressure.
So first down and 15. Let's see how the Claymores hold up defensively. Ian Badajeo in motion out of the backfield. LaRocca feels the heat and rolls to his left and unloads. And it could be a pick, and it is it? No, they're saying Cedric Samuel was out of bounds, but a risky pass from Josh LaRocca. He got away with one.
I think LaRocca was trying to throw it away, throw it out of the end zone. He didn't realize how far away the back of that end zone was.
That was one step away from an interception.
He dodged a bullet, and he knows it. This ball travels a long ways in the air, but Josh is just trying to get that thing out beyond that white line. And had Samuel had a little bit more presence as to where he was on the field, he could have gotten both feet in.
Second down on 15. LaRocca looks for Allen, and Allen spins round in frustration. He knows he should have had that one. And it brings up third down on 15. Allen, who spent a couple of years with the New York Jets, made a couple of big plays this afternoon, but should have had that one.
Nick, Allen and the rest of this offense had rhythm in the first half. Things were working. They were on the same page. Now, after it seems the quarterback shift, it seems now that the rhythm has shifted as well. And the Monarchs offense is not in sync like they were in the first half.
Third down, Tyrone Edwards on the draw play, and he's close to first down yardage. A pickup of 14, and Edwards is hurt. He's taken a knock on his left knee. They've had problems in the offensive backfield. Sean Mitchell went home. Charles Talley went home. And they can ill afford to lose Tyrone Edwards.
Edwards, the first pick in the entire draft, is a back that has a lot of talent, but he's a young guy, and a lot of times, Nick, young guys don't know what it takes to prepare to win. There's a difference between preparing and preparing with urgency. And there was something interesting happened in practice this week. Tyrone Edwards had a stiff neck in practice. Bobby Phillips, a replacement running back with tremendous quickness, comes off the bus and ran a couple of plays in practice with incredible quickness hitting the hole. All of a sudden, Tyrone Edwards' neck felt a lot better, and he started to practice a lot faster. Lionel Taylor told us that he thought Bobby Phillips was the best doctor he'd ever seen in his life because he cured Tyrone Edwards so fast.
They're a yard short, so Don Silvestri will come on to attempt the field goal. Silvestri, who broke Scottish hearts here in 1995 when he kicked a 52-yarder that was worth 4 points. This will be considerably shorter. This will be 38 yards. And this to put the England Monarchs back in front. And Don Silvestri has a kick, but there's a penalty on the field. Silvestri's had no luck in this season, as we just get the call.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 72, a 5-yard penalty, repeat fourth down.
That's Robert Couch. Well, he kicked a 48-yarder last week, Silvestri, and that was called back for a flag. And now this one's come back as well.
Well, this is, let's see, 45 yards this will be, or just shy of that. If it goes back to 50, it's a 4-pointer, and frankly, I think they had to give that to the NFL. I think the NFL could use a 4-point field goal. It would add a lot to the excitement of the game, to the strategy of the game.
It certainly would. This now a 43-yard effort for Don Silvestri. The kick is on its way. Absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. And Don Silvestri has waited a long time for his first field goal of the season. But it's come at last with 11:28 left in the fourth quarter, and it's given England the lead. They're on top, 24-21. So the return of Josh LaRocca at quarterback for the England Monarchs provides the spark that they needed after a very flat third quarter. 5 plays, 56 yards, culminating in Don Silvestri's field goal. England back on top. Good kick from Silvestri. It's taken out of the end zone by J.J. Smith. And Smith proves to make a good decision because he gets it out to the 23-yard line. And with 11:16 left, it's time for the Scottish Claymores to go to work offensively. Although this England defense in this second half has really turned it up a notch.
They have. They're very active, and the defensive line has done a good job in the second half of putting pressure on the quarterback of Scotland, Jim Ballard.
Tyrone Edwards, we hear, has a slight knee strain. They think he's going to return.
Well, that Dr. Bobby Phillips will be there to cure him.
Well, it's Dr. Ashwin Patel in the red shirt there that's currently doing the work. He's had another busy season, the Claymores team doctor. Meanwhile, whistles on the field.
There have been so many injuries on that Scottish Claymore side that they had to actually change. They had to change their entire offense from a 2-back set to a 1-back on the fly at the beginning of the season.
why they... Do you have any idea what they were going to, what front they were getting into?
No, I was just getting under the center and they called timeout. I was just starting to really scan.
Okay. Right at sale, 59 toss?
Right out, short float. Short float.
Short float, right?
Hey, it's Jim.
Yeah, what we called. Yes, Jimmy.
Lionel Taylor has seen his team burn all 3 timeouts with over 11 minutes left in the ball game. He's steaming down there.
Really ought to be. That's just management of the game.
It's Jim Tomsula, his defensive line coach, who was chewing out there. He's an easygoing, relaxed, laid-back guy, Lionel, but he's not a man you want to cross. The blitz comes, but it's picked up, and the pitch back is to Vernon Turner. And Turner will pick up a couple before he's stopped. Tony Watkins in on the stop. And that's going to bring up 2nd down and 8.
Tony Watkins, a big hitter, flew up there, and along with Cottrell, just laid the wood that time.
Second down and 8 for the Scottish Claymores. And at the back of their mind, I'm starting to think maybe the Claymores are thinking this, that they've lost 3 times in a row now to the England Monarchs. All 3 of those games, Lionel Taylor was in charge for England as well. Play action, Ballard rolls, looks, and just has to get out of bounds with Ben Williams in hot pursuit. And that'll get you to find an extra gear.
Well, the back of Jim Ballard's mind and the rest of the Claymores is how important this game is to them and to their fans. All week long, the Claymores fans have come up to the players and said, guys, it's been a tough year, but if you win one game, beat England at home, because of the history that goes back. When Scotland plays England in rugby, in soccer, in American football, NFL-style football, it's always a huge deal for the fans.
I, of course, Trevor, am completely unbiased in all this. Ballard swings it out to Chris Brantley, and Brantley will pick up a 1st down and more, all the way to the 45-yard line. 1st down, Scotland. Under 10 minutes to go.
This is a nice pick move by Miller on Anthony Rice. Comes inside and clears out the opposition. There's Miller, and just take a look at what he does. 80, well, that was Brantley. 80 on 26, Rice. Comes out and just picks him right off, and it was man-to-man coverage, so Rice couldn't get back inside.
So, 1st down, Scottish Claymores, 9.5 minutes remaining. Ballard with play action again, buys some time, looks in the direction of Chris Miller, and it's incomplete. He had a Chris Spina was there to break it up. Ballard gets up slowly. Miller got up slowly too.
Ballard's in some pain right there now. That, you know, you can get some joints knocked a little sideways when that happens. Ball's a bit underthrown, so it's just a train wreck downfield, but it's another train wreck back upfield for Ballard. Right there, he's vulnerable as that ball comes through.
Roughing the passer,
Emil Palmer getting assessed. Now, the last time Palmer did that, there was no question it was late. That one was a bit closer.
But that's the 2nd time this game that Palmer has done that. Again, he's still steaming mad. Before the game started, he had that picture in the program of him on his back with the offensive line of the Claymores laying on him. He had that picture with him all during pregame in the locker room. And so far in this game, he's had a great game, but he's let it get away from him a little bit with 2 roughing the passer penalties.
Miller wide left, Brantley wide right, Turner, who's had a 100-yard day in the backfield, alone in the backfield. Miller, the motion man. They load up the right side. Ballard looks, has time again, goes downtown, looking for Brantley. Incomplete. Brantley tracked all the way by Dwayne Butler, and that was close.
Boy, Ballard knows Emil Palmer's in there. And this cover is just one-on-one. Butler's just shadowing him, and he's open. Miller's open, or Brantley's open. He should catch that ball. They hit him between the 2 zeros. Look where this ball hits Brantley. Now you tell me that's not good. He tried to catch it with his elbows, Nick. That's why we have fingers.
Jim Ballard knows how close that was. Instead, it's 2nd and 10. from the 40-yard line. Ballard will throw again, and he swings it out to Vernon Turner, who's been so productive, just juking people out of their socks. But he tried one move too many, and he'll lose 6.
Nick, you know who they had covering?
They swarmed all over him. Uhuru Hamilton again.
They had Lewis Capes, defensive lineman, covering him that time. 280 pounds of Lewis Capes covered Vernon Turner on this swing pass. Now look at the guy he's juking here. That guy right there, that's a defensive lineman. There's just no chance to not look anything but dumb when you're that defensive lineman. I don't blame poor Capes for that at all.
Big day for Vernon Turner. Look at those numbers. 120 yards plus and a couple of scores. But it won't mean anything to Vernon Turner if the Claymores don't win this game. It's incomplete. Looking in the direction of Chris Brantley, who'd drawn double coverage and couldn't hang on.
He's got to quit throwing that ball between Brantley's zeros there. Brantley's right here on top. This is another football that hits him right in the chest. Try to catch it again with his elbows right there. He spent so long beating out Butler on that butt press that he wasn't able to get his head back around.
The Monarchs defensively hold firm again. Todrick Malone waits at the 10-yard line. David Wing looks for the coffin corner. Malone fields at the 10, calls for the fair catch. And with 7:22 remaining, it remains a 3-point lead for the England Monarchs over the Scottish Claymores. Battle of Britain boiling up to quite a finish. Nick Halling with Trevor Maddich. 7:22 left. England leading it 24-21. And Josh LaRocca from the Denver Broncos with his hands on the ball for the Monarchs. In the backfield, it's Victor Muhammad, who hasn't carried since that fumble. But I mentioned the Denver Broncos there. Trevor and Josh LaRocca looking to try and win a job with that team. But he's in a logjam.
There's a lot of quarterbacks up there, and a lot of it will depend on what John Elway does. He still hasn't made it known whether or not he plans to retire or come back and play another season. But LaRocca has really shown a lot here in this league, not just with his heart, but also with his decision-making.
2nd down and 6. 4 yards for Muhammad, who remains in the backfield. And Muhammad gets it again and tries to turn the corner and will pick up 3 more. There was another ex-NFL Europe quarterback on that list, Doug Nussmeier, who came from the New Orleans Saints. He was in this league back in 1995. Just spent a couple of weeks with the Rhine Fire and then hightailed it back to America.
You know something, if I'm coach of the Denver Broncos and I've got a choice between a guy who played for 2 weeks and went home and a guy who has stood in and taken the shots and the hits like this man has and still run the offense effectively, it's no choice in my book. I like this guy. And talking to NFL personnel people this last week, a lot of guys in the league like this guy.
3rd down. Victor Muhammad tries to plow his way to the 1st down marker, which is at the 30-yard line. And from here, that looks like it's going to be very close, but possibly just short. But yeah, there's a lot of thinking around the league, both in this league and in the NFL, Trevor, that some quarterbacks would rather not come over here. They'd sooner stand around on the sideline and hold a clipboard and look cool.
There are a lot of third-string quarterbacks in the NFL that make a living, make the league by playing 1 or 2 series in a preseason game, and then they never see any more game action. And there are guys that should be here right now, but aren't. And I think it's because they don't want to be found out. They don't want to have to show whether or not they can play. A guy like LaRocca comes over here and shows not only that he can play, but also that he can make good decisions. Then when you have a 3rd-string quarterback or a 2nd-string quarterback go into a game in the NFL, the first thing you want from him is that he will do exactly what's expected of him. No more, no less, and they don't ask the backups to do as much as the starters. They just don't want the backups to make the key mental mistake. LaRocca has evolved in this league to be very reliable.
Brian Greenfield is forced to kick it away. J.J. Smith waits. That was a huge play defensively for the Scottish Claymores. Another good kick from Greenfield, takes a good England bounce. Smith fields at the 28 and runs into Rob Flickinger, his own man, and pulls forward to the 41-yard line. 5:42 remaining, plenty of time left for the Scottish Claymores. Let's come back to that quarterback issue, Trevor, because this has been a proving ground consistently for the quarterback position. Look at all those guys that played last year as starters that learned their trade over here.
You know, you look at the top 2 guys on that list, Scott Mitchell, Brad Johnson. Those guys together are worth about $10 million a year. Those 2 guys developed their game and got the attention of the coaches over here in this league. Scott Mitchell especially, because he was third-string quarterback with Miami. Then he came over here, had a great year in '92, went back the next NFL season and won the second position behind Dan Marino in Miami. That was the year Marino got hurt. And Scott Mitchell's playing time that year is what got him the big contract with Detroit.
Jim Ballard looking to do the same with Buffalo, and he's in a logjam there as well. A scoring drive here would no doubt help his cause. Vernon Turner squirts through for 8 yards. Uhuru Hamilton racked up all over him, but that explosive speed of Turner again proving effective for the Scottish Claymores.
There's 5 minutes to go now, Nick, and it's a 3-point game. Claymores trail by a field goal. They've got great field position right now. The thing they need to make sure they do is protect that football, stay with their offense. There's no need to force anything right now.
Second and short. A long hold. And the pitch back once again to Vernon Turner, who will get first down yardage. 4 more yards for Turner, who's having a superb afternoon. Tony Watkins coming up from safety and making the stop. And the clock continues to run.
Nick, I don't know how Turner squirts through some of these holes. Have you ever seen how, like a little mouse, can get through a hole the size of a nickel, and you have no idea how it can get its body that way? I have no idea how Vernon Turner gets through here. There's just people everywhere in there, defenders, offensive guys, yet he turns his shoulders and finds a gap. That's a knack. It's not something you can practice.
You know, if you spend 2 years in Detroit behind Barry Sanders, you know some of that stuff's going to rub off. First down. Turner again. Not even Barry Sanders would have made a play there. Just ran into a wall of red and white.
And Joe Andruzzi is back in the game right now. He knows what a big game this is. And this is impressive to me that he's been injured and come back and performed well. That's something that the Green Bay Packers like about this guy. They want to see how he does when he has a bad game, how he responds. In this case, when he's got an injury, how he responds.
3 wide receivers lined up to the left. And the swing pass to Vernon Turner, who cuts back once again and will pick up only a couple. That was asking a lot of Turner, and it's going to bring up 3rd and long.
Turner getting help again from Joe Andruzzi. The Green Bay Packers say that what they like about this guy, Andruzzi, is his athleticism and his toughness. The first job of a guard in Green Bay's offense is to protect the MVP, Brett Favre, from guys like Leon Lett and Dana Stubblefield. Second job is to be able to pull and block linebackers in space. Andruzzi does both very well.
A big 3rd down with just over 3 minutes remaining, and Scotland trailing by 3. Ballard has time. Now he's flushed out of the pocket. He looks for Terrence Davis, who got wide open, and it's a huge Scotland first down.
This is confusion on the coverage between Butler and Crispino. To the left of your screen, they both jump. Brantley, and that leaves Davis wide open down there. You see Brantley 0-0 on the left of your screen.
And that's Jim Ballard's father, Randy, who's flown in for the game. He enjoyed that one.
Randy's been coaching his son, Jim, since Pee Wee football up through his freshman year in high school, and since then he continues to help him evaluate film, check his technique. Is he throwing off his back foot? What's happening?
Terrence Davis has paid the price, though. He's still down. England's leading receiver last year. Won a lot of friends playing down south. Was originally allocated, ironically, to Scotland in 1997 from the Kansas City Chiefs. Decided not to come to camp with the Claymores because his wife had just given birth. He thought his priority was there. And then when England came calling, he stepped up, made big plays for them. And he's come back to Scotland and made some pretty big plays for them this season as well.
He's made a lot of big plays here, Nick. He's done a great job with that. On that particular play, he just got wide open, and that ball was a bit underthrown. The reason he got hurt was because he wanted to score a touchdown. He tried to get his body as close to that end zone as he could as he made that catch, and that got his feet a bit tangled up.
2.5 minutes left. The ball spotted at the 17-yard line.
Field goal here ties it. A touchdown puts them ahead, but plenty of time.
much doing there for the Scottish Claymores on the ground. Randy Neal coming up and making the stop on Vernon Turner, and that will take us to the 2-minute warning, with Scotland trailing by 3 but driving. So it's a 2nd down and 7 from the 18-yard line. Scotland trailing by 3 with 2 minutes remaining. Vernon Turner, who's done so much in this game,
Clock's running.
picks up another 3 or 4 yards, and that'll make it 3rd down and 3. Clock runs.
And Nick, the clock is owned now by Scotland because they have 3 timeouts. England cannot stop the clock, which they would like to do right now because they burned all 3 of their timeouts because of substitution mistakes. If they could stop the clock now, they would, so that they would have some time for an offensive drive after Scotland presumably scores here.
They're comfortably into field goal range, but right now the Claymores are thinking touchdown. Blitz comes, Ballard rolls, Carlos Fowler's after him, and he just has to get rid of it. Ballard took another hit, and he's coming straight to the sideline. His shoulder looks like it's popped out again.
Well, that's the shoulder he separated a few weeks ago when number 96, Ben Williams, fell on him. And right now, Fowler falls on him the exact same way that Williams fell on it and caused that injury in the first game against this team. Exact same thing.
Look at the frustration on Jim Ballard there, just threw his helmet away, and the pressure's on Gary Parker. He missed a game winner in week 1 against Barcelona. A 28-yard kick, it's on its way, and we're tied up. 24 apiece with 1 minute and 17 remaining. And England will get the ball, but they burn those timeouts. They won't be able to stop the clock.
The perfect snap, it was a perfect hold, and it's a tie ball game.
And that's a Scotsman showing Scottish pride against England. There was no way he was going to miss that kick.
Brian was happy for him just as much as he is for this team.
Well, there's Mike.
That loves his players.
Mike Kenny with him, the Scottish coach with this team. He'll have enjoyed that too. Look at Gary Parker's face. You want focus and intensity? That's a kicker.
He is focused. As focused as a kicker can be. But that focus now has put them in this situation. It's a tie game. There's 1 minute 17 left. The fact that England has no timeouts left drastically restricts what they can do. They can't run the ball. They can't throw to the middle of the field except for maybe the first time or two. After that, they have to go to the sidelines.
Well, in this situation a few weeks ago in Frankfurt, Lionel Taylor went ultra-conservative and played for overtime when he could have gone downtown and was heavily criticised for that. And indeed, the Monarchs lost in overtime. Will he go for it here? Will he go and look for his burners, Reggie Jones and Sean Turner, or will he play for overtime?
I think Josh LaRocca wants to go for those burners, and he will no matter what.
John Baker with a good kick. George Harris has to take it at the 3-yard line. Bobby Phillips is there to block for him, but nothing doing for Harris, who is nailed at the 20-yard line. 1 minute 12 remaining and no timeouts for England. And we're tied up at 24 each. Josh LaRocca, who sat out the 3rd quarter because Lionel Taylor had promised Wally Richardson some playing time, and credit Lionel Taylor with sticking to his word and giving Richardson that time.
Get out!
We gave him all the drives in the 3rd quarter, and each and every one was 3 and out. They didn't get a first down. Now he's got to think of his team. They've got to win.
Alan Allen and Reggie Jones are the wideouts with Turner in the slot, Victor Mohammed in the backfield. And LaRocca looks and looks and has Mohammed, who has been such a loyal servant of American football in Britain for so many years, but anybody who knows Victor will tell you catching is not his forte.
Well, he is arguably the greatest player produced by the British game.
Not arguably, he is.
It's almost better that he dropped that ball, though, because had he been tackled, it would have burned a lot more time. Time is the issue now, not down. They've got to throw this ball to the sideline.
Sorry to jump in on you there, Trevor. He's been outstanding for a decade or more, Victor Mohammed, over here. But he's not a pass catcher. Now, what does LaRocca do? He looks for Reggie Jones, and he's overthrown. And there's still a minute and a second left. Now it's third down. Taylor's assessing the situation. He knows the Claymores still have timeouts to play with.
And there's still time. Minute and a half is plenty of time. All they need now is the first down and step out of bounds. They've got a great long-distance field goal kicker in Silvestri.
Malone, Allen, Turner, and Jones are the wideouts. Mohammed on the draw, and Mohammed will look for the sideline and get it, and still on his feet. And the draw play worked that time. 17 yards for Mohammed. Kwame Ellis eventually pushing him out of bounds, and just 7 seconds off the clock.
Rick, there's two ways to spin that one. One is, what a brilliant call to catch the defense off guard. But I think that Lionel Taylor right there was trying to run it out and punt. That's what it looked like. So let's give the benefit of the doubt. Brilliant call down there. Catch the defense off guard. Remember though, Silvestri with his long range is the key weapon right now.
Jones and Allen wide. Turner and Malone in the slot. And it goes to Sean Turner, who gets out of bounds. It's another 13 yards, and they're at midfield with 47 seconds remaining.
Sean Turner showing his size with Cole there. He carries Cole right out of bounds with him. Turner, a big receiver who can run. The New England Patriots like that about him. He showed it that time. Very well could have been tackled in bounds.
And if only Lionel Taylor had a couple of first downs to play with. Or timeouts, rather. And it's the Claymores instead that are taking a timeout.
There you go.
They've got an injury situation. Alan Campos limped off the field.
Josh, I can't reach. You know you got one kill. That's all you got. Yeah. That's what you're going to have to do. Tell the guy, we need 12, 14 yards. Okay? Hey, just don't get sacked. Tell the guy to back to stay in. Keep him in.
What he means by one kill is that one time he can take the ball and spike it to stop the clock. Other than that, he wants him to run a play each and every time.
Well, when you think Don Silvestri has hit a 52-yard field goal on this very field, you're talking about the England Monarchs looking for another 15 yards.
Well, if they get this ball to the 35-yard line, it's a 52-yard field goal.
The four wide receivers in place for the England Monarchs. LaRocca looks, puts it upstairs in the direction of Allen, and that was just underthrown and out of bounds. The pressure was being applied by Steve Brannan, and it'll be second down.
And that's a quarterback following his coach's instructions. Lionel Taylor told him, don't take the sack. That time there was excellent coverage downfield. He just threw that ball away.
Well, the pressure building on the field, and off the field, Don Silvestri, who's already kicked one field goal. Is this going to be his moment? He's waited a long time, Silvestri. And if Josh LaRocca can find another 15 yards, Silvestri could be the key. LaRocca is hit, the ball is loose, and the Claymores have fallen on it. Brad Keeney, a flag comes in, but it's a Scotland ball. Steve Brannan forced it, and Keeney came up with it. What a turnaround. But Jim Ballard is getting treatment for his shoulder.
Brandon makes his play, comes right around Robert Couch at right tackle, and gets there just in time to knock that out. That's exactly what Lionel Taylor feared. He told his quarterback during the timeout not to let that happen, but there was nothing that LaRocca could do at that time.
Meanwhile, Mark Grieve comes out at quarterback for the Scottish Claymores because Ballard is getting treatment to his shoulder. Now, can the Claymores do something with 36 seconds left? Grieve swings it out to Chris Miller. Miller's got running room. He'll pick up another first down. What a finish.
Well, Nick, the Claymores have 2 timeouts. They're using one of them now. They still have a timeout to go. With 25 seconds to go, they still have options.
Timeout, Scotland. Team timeout.
See, now we got 1 timeout left, and if we need to, we can always clock it as long as it's not 4th down, right? Okay. All right, we got to get inside the 30 and get a first down. Yeah. No, just move the ball. Let's not take. Okay. Cross Q, Roger Leo. How do you want to cross Q Leo? Okay.
They're just short of the first down by no more than the nose of the ball, so it's 2nd and short.
You know, Nick, it's
If he
interesting.
can possibly get the ball to the left hash for Baker.
Mike Kenny, the special teams coach, with his thick Glaswegian accent.
He wants the ball on the left hash for the field goal attempt.
2nd down. Grebe looks again for Miller, and Miller makes another catch. And they're ruling him out of bounds. No, they're saying he's in. They're saying he was pushed out. It's another first down.
That's the catch of the day. In a series of great catches by Miller. They run a pick, the defensive backs get confused, but it's still good coverage by Crispina. That's just great talent and great determination by Miller going up for that ball. That's what happens when you catch 300 extra passes a day in practice.
With 18 seconds left, they're well into field goal range now. Back on the ground they go. Vernon Turner looking to juke his way a little bit closer. Gary Parker, the Scotsman who just converted that 27-yard field goal, is the man they will call on. And with 4 seconds remaining, the clock is stopped. And Gary Parker, all 5'6" of him,
Timeout, Scotland.
has a chance to be a national hero.
This is the 30-second timeout.
It can't get any better than this if you're a Scotsman. A chance to kick a game-winning field goal against England.
In your home stadium in Edinburgh with the largest crowd of the year on hand. It's loud out there, Nick. The crowd is chanting. They're on their feet.
Keep that right knee in there.
And I'll tell you something, Trevor, our spotter up here in the stand, Andy Colvin, who's Scotsman through and through, he just broke into a smile. That's confidence, because Andy doesn't smile at much.
Well, one caveat here, Nick, they're on the right hash. Mike Kenny wanted this attempt to be made from the left hash.
It's a 25-yarder. Parker, who's been near perfect after missing a game winner in Week 1 in Barcelona. It's his ball game now. And it's blocked. Would you believe it? Another twist and a turn in this incredible game. But there is a flag. And it goes against England. Claymores fans everywhere on their feet.
Defense, half the distance to the goal line. Repeat 2nd down. This will be an untimed down.
The England Monarchs got so excited about this that they forgot they're not supposed to line up in that neutral zone. They called it on defense, not even one player. That means that there were several guys whose helmets were across.
So now it's a chip shot, 21 yards. There is no time left on the clock. Gary Parker wins it for Scotland, or we go to overtime. The kick's on its way and it's good. You couldn't have written a better storyline, Trevor. A Scotsman with a chance to beat England, and he takes it with no time left on the clock.
And this is like the movie E.T., where E.T. dies, then comes back to life. They got that first field goal blocked. The emotions went down into their shoes and then right back up when that penalty was called to give that second chance at that victory.
What a game. And Gary Parker, the smallest man on the field at 5'6", is the hero of Scotland tonight.
Willie Tate, the holder, facilitates this. The snap is almost on the ground. And Willie Tate gets this ball down. And good patience by Parker to keep coming through. Allow his holder to do his work. Ball is almost on the ground.